Hi everyone, good morning and thank you for joining us today. Our webinar is going to be on upgrading your application to Canvas, and the presentation should last around 15 minutes. As always, if you have any questions, please add them in the question panel and we will go through them at the end of the presentation. That said, let's get started.
Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Today we will look at upgrading your application to Canvas. Let's look at our agenda for today. We are going to start today by a quick review of Canvas OCS, what are the advantages and why you might want to upgrade. Then we are going to go through the standard upgrade procedure that you can use to upgrade to Canvas, and then we are going to talk about some of the optional upgrades that you can make if you choose different things, such as switching your logic style, implementing WebMI, implementing some push protocols, all those sort of optional upgrades, and there will be demonstrations throughout, and we will finish with a Q&A session. So what is Canvas OCS? Canvas is our top of line, most powerful all-in-one controller from Horner Automation, and it has several differentiations versus our other product families. It has the most advanced graphics that we offer in any of our products. It is the only product so far that has a dual core microprocessor. So what does that mean? It means that the processor itself, there is one core that is dedicated to the logic and networking, and another core that is dedicated to the graphics. So no matter what you do with your graphics or what you do on the screen, you are going to have fast, consistent scan rates. Canvas includes a lot of other features that might be available in other series, but you have to pay extra for those through a one-time upgrade, whereas they come included or pre-licensed in Canvas. Why might you upgrade to Canvas? First of all, it is priced very comparable to the original Excel series and also the Excel Prime, so you are not making a big financial investment to upgrade. Also, the basic upgrade procedure, which we are going to demonstrate in today's presentation, is simple and low risk. There is testing involved. The other reasons to upgrade are some of those included features, the superior graphic tools if you are an IEC user. We have some enhancements to the IEC that you could take advantage of. If you have never used WebMI and you want to take advantage of it, a WebMI license or WebMI capability is built into Canvas. If you happen to be an Ignition user or another user of a software which interfaces with MQTT Sparkplug, which is the latest industrial push protocol, Canvas has the protocol included. So today what we are going to demonstrate is we are going to focus on an upgrade from the traditional Excel series to Canvas. Now we are focusing there because there are a lot of units in the field and many more of different applications where the Excel series is currently in service. So it is probably the most common upgrade path for current Horner customers, but is not the only upgrade path. If you do not have an Excel series unit and you are looking to do an upgrade, you will be able to do so, whether it is going to be a micro OCS all the way up to a Canvas. For example, let's say you are upgrading from a QX unit up to a larger screen or vice versa. A larger screen in the QX and a smaller screen in Canvas. Anytime you do a Horner upgrade, you can always reuse your logic. You can usually reuse your IO map. Usually the new IO pattern matches the old one, but not always. You might have to do some remapping, and then you can often reuse your screens, but not always, because you might be going from a text-based OCS, for instance, but you often can reuse your screens as well. Let's go back to today's procedure, and that is upgrading from the Excel series to Canvas. The first step is to select a model. On the left there you can see the four most common models in the Excel series: the XL4, the XL6, EXLW, XL7, and EXL10. And on the right you can see the closest matches for those models in the Canvas series. You will notice that three of them have direct correlation and a direct match. The sizes are the same and the pixel pattern are the same, so that the XL4 to the Canvas 4, EXLW to the Canvas 7, and the XL7 to the Canvas 7D, and a couple of the models in the Excel series do not have a direct representation, and that is because we have replaced the EXL6, for instance, with a traditional 7-inch model, and we have replaced the EXL10 with the Canvas 10D, which is a 10-inch unit, but it has a wide screen with a different pixel pattern. Now you can still overcome the fact that the pixels do not match exactly, and we will show you how that happens in this presentation. The next step is back up your file, the Seascape file you have that is running on your existing machine. You always want to make a copy of that before you start the upgrade procedure, and then when you open that file in Seascape 10, you will be prompted to back it up again. Just because it's important that you do that step, always want to make sure you have options to go backwards if necessary, and that means having a secure original file. The third step is you are going to go to the hardware configuration and change from your current model over to the Canvas model. So you will change the series from, in this case, XL or XL Prime to Canvas, and then you will go and select the size that you want. Now Seascape 10 will automatically select the direct replacement size if there is a direct replacement. If there is not, for instance, going from EXL6 to a Canvas 7, then you will manually have to select the size and the device type in your hardware configuration. Once you have done that, if you do not have pixel per pixel match between your original XL unit and your Canvas unit, you will be prompted to tell Seascape if you want to do a resize and reposition in the objects on your screen. And generally, you would say yes. You are usually going to be better off opting in for that, otherwise you may have to go in through and manually change everything, but we would suggest allowing Seascape to do it, and then you can do some adjusting later. So once a conversion has been done, if it was needed, then we do some adjusting. Now this is what things look like when you opt out of the conversion. On the left, we are showing an EXL10 screen, and on the right we are showing a Canvas 10D screen. And you can see there's a lot of white space there, and this is because we did not automatically resize and reposition. However, if we would have chosen the resize option by opting in, then you can see that things fill the screen, and the white there is some adjusting that needs to be done. And then on the next screen, we are showing you the next step, which is to go through and adjust your screens manually. So for the things that did not translate perfectly, you want to go through and adjust things. Now we get into the optional step. So if you want to do a basic conversion from XL series over to Canvas, all you needed were the previous steps and you are done. The next steps we're going to talk about are all the different optional steps you can take if you want. The first one is to switch from register based to variable based advanced ladder. If your program is already register based and you are interested in converting it to variable based, you can do that. Seascape 10 has a conversion option included inside the project navigator menu, so we are going to demonstrate that today. So you do not have to start from scratch if you want to go from register based to variable based. The next optional step be for those of you who are IEC programmers. Your original program, let's say, is in IEC, and you have got the ability, if you choose, to go to the enhanced IEC, and in that case you get some extra functionality. In Seascape 10 with Canvas, you will get faster scan rates with more memory, larger program sizes supported. You will get advanced debugging tools like single stepping and breakpoint. You will have the ability to stimulate your program without a controller, and you will get exception handling. The one thing to keep in mind is if you have got an IEC program that is doing a lot of manual register mapping, that is not supported in enhanced IEC, so you will have to make program changes to overcome that manual memory mapping that you might be doing to do some programming shortcuts. Another optional step is to fully take advantage of Canvas graphics by redrawing some of your screens using the advanced graphics capability with Canvas. The next optional step is to take advantage of WebMI. You can use the WebMI and it is included for free, so you can have full remote monitoring and remote control and take full advantage of the WebMI license that is built right into Canvas. The next optional step is using MQTT Spark Plug. And the reason you would want to do that is if you happen to be using some industrial software that supports the ability to push data to that software via MQTT Spark Plug, and that is a protocol that is built right into Canvas OCS. For our demonstration, we are going to show you what an upgrade might look like from XL series to Canvas. What we have here is the logic for the filter machine that was originally created for text-based OCS to an EXL6, so that is a 640 by 480 screen. And now we are going to demonstrate how you can upgrade it the rest of the way up to Canvas. So here is our program, and you can see there are many screens that are part of this program, and there are a couple of logic routines as well. And you can also tell that it has been written in a register-based logic. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to upgrade to Canvas by changing the hardware configuration. So we go to the hardware configuration and you can see it is on Excel OCS series right now. We are going to switch this to Canvas. After we switch it to Canvas, the next step is to select the appropriate size that we want. The most direct conversion for the EXL6, which was 640 by 45.7 inch display, would be the 7-inch model or the Canvas 7, and we will go ahead and select that. We will hit OK, and the next question that comes up is, do you want to resize and reposition the objects in their font proportionally, yes or no? So this is where you decide, do you want it to resize things for you or not? We are going to go ahead and select yes here. Now the next step is to go through your screens and to adjust anything that needs to be adjusted. A couple of things you have noticed about these projects right here, they are not lined up properly. With a large font here, let's fix them and we will go ahead and stretch this one. Now let's get them lined up here, and with this particular indicator here, the land part is cut off, so we need to adjust that around a bit as well. Let's go to the next screen, and the next screen looks good. We could choose to make these fonts bigger. We have the same land indicator on every screen, so that would be something we will want to change on every screen. But as you can see, it gets most of it right at the beginning. It is just a matter of adjusting things to get them to look just the way you want. We have taken our program, which was originally developed for an EXL6, and we have converted over to a Canvas 7. So now there are a lot of other upgrades we could perform, and one that we could perform would be to convert from register-based logic to a variable-based logic, and we will show you the basics of that. So let's go here, and we are going to highlight in the navigator of our program at the top level here. Right click, and down here we have convert to a variable based. Press the start button. It suggests a name, so let's call this Fitter Machine VBAL, and this is what we are going to call this. We will hit save, so it automatically saves it to a new name, and it shows us, as you can see on the screen, it is a process, and it tells you what logic size was before and what the logic size was after. And the big difference is that it has created variable names, and that is now part of the program, so it has increased the program size. If we take a look at this ladder logic here, you can see it is now variable based, and any register which had IO names to them, their new variable name is whatever the IO name was. And if you did not label the specific variable and you just left it as it is as a register, for instance, then you're going to get a standardized variable name. Let's take a quick look at that right now. We're going to pull up the program variable table, look at the global variable names. As we scroll down here, you can see all these traditional variable names, but then when we go further, we can see for any variable that was not documented, it did not have a corresponding IO name, it is going to create a default variable name for that. But it is recommended to go through and make sure your program is very well documented and name as many of these registers as you can before you go through the process and do the conversion. That was an optional step that we selected to go to variable based, and now from this point forward, if we were to modify this program, add variables and those sort of things, we get the benefit of variable based program. We can see arrays and we can name variables without having to map every single one. That concludes our webinar for today. Thank you so much for listening, and the Q&A session will begin shortly.
Okay, I'm back. Since we don't have any questions so far, let me jump into the agenda. I hope you can see my screen now. So the next webinar is going to be on use a constant scan rate with Horner OCS, and we have 2 more scheduled for the following weeks. If you want to participate, please register on our website. I believe that's all for today. Thank you all for your time, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. Have a nice day, everyone.